The Oklahoma Sooners got a surprise visit from a five-star defensive lineman, one that maybe a lot of people are not paying attention to. And I think it's somebody Oklahoma Sooner fans will definitely be excited about. But before we jump into it, please go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you all are thinking down in the comments below. We're going to ask the same question we asked in the last video. How many five-star defensive linemen is Oklahoma going to land in this class? So the Oklahoma Sooners, they got a surprise visit from a five-star defensive lineman that, well, I mean, I guess it's a surprise to us, not necessarily a surprise to the staff because, well, they knew the kid was coming on campus, but that is the five-star defensive lineman, Eddrick Houston, out of Buford, Georgia. The 6'3", 255-pound edge rusher. This is what he had to say about the Oklahoma Sooners, where he posted a Twitter on Facebook, or posted a picture on Twitter of him and Ted Roof. Said, extremely appreciative for the uncommon hospitality shown to me by the entire at OU football staff. Without a doubt, one of the most memorable moments. I want to highlight that sentence for a second. Without a doubt, one of the most memorable moments. Now, why is that important? Because this is something that we've kind of been hearing from a lot of recruits and a lot of the people that we've had on the show. They talk about how when they come on visits, this staff is extremely intentional. They spend time with them. They don't bring too many kids on site to where they can't dedicate time to these recruits. And they're only focusing on the big guys. And so you heard that Eddrick Houston was on campus and that he stayed maybe a little later than the other guys. He spent time watching film with the coaches, kind of like Williams Nwaneri, understanding how he was going to be able to be used as a Sooner. And I think that goes a long way because you're really trying to leverage those relationships that Brenton Venables, Todd Bates, and Miguel Chavis have built in the Georgia area while they were at Clemson. And you have to pull the kid. How many miles is it away? Let's look at it. Let's see how many miles it is away. 756 miles away from home. So you're trying to convince the kid to come out 756 miles from home, and then you are intentional with that time. And you're teaching and you're showing the kid, here's how we're going to value you, and here's how we're going to use you at the University of Oklahoma. Come help us change the narrative of the Oklahoma Sooners. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. And so I see something like that, and I see a post like that from a five-star defensive lineman, and I think the staff is doing everything right. And we talked about it in the last video with Williams Nwaneri. The staff could realistically land 2 or 3 defensive linemen, five-star defensive linemen. And if they land those 3, and then they get Eddrick Houston, that's 4. Now, maybe Eddrick Houston is going to be more of a cheetah. Maybe he plays a little bit of the edge and shifts back to the linebacker a little bit, depending on the scheme, depending on who you're playing. Maybe he plays just the edge. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like for him. We haven't talked to him. Love to have him on the show, but we haven't talked to him. But this staff, they're doing it all the right way. Now, I am by no means oblivious to the fact of the kids from Georgia and oblivious to the fact that he's taken 5 unofficial visits to Georgia, 3 unofficial visits to Alabama, 2 unofficial visits to Clemson, where they have Nick Eason on their defensive line recruiting, and that's a hard battle. Or two visits to Ohio State where you've got to fight Larry Johnson. And mind you, at Alabama, they have Travarius Robinson and Will Muschamp. So, yeah, it's going to be really hard to recruit over Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Sooners. I don't expect this to be one where the Sooners can just walk in there and take a 5-star. But if you go in there to Georgia, where he's only 40 miles from Athens, and steal a 5-star defensive lineman out of their backyard, Oklahoma's back. And that means the college football world needs to be aware that the sleeping giant that is the Oklahoma Sooners is starting to wake up. And that the 2024 and 2025 seasons, when they go to the SEC, are going to be brutally scary if they can continue to recruit the way that it appears that they are able to recruit. They're able to replicate that success from Clemson at Oklahoma. The college football world better be on notice. But if you guys haven't already, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are down in the comments below. How many defensive linemen, 5-star defensive linemen, do you think the Oklahoma Sooners land in this class? Additionally, do you think that they can go out there and land Eddrick Houston?